But Notre Dame comes back to beat Penn State 27-24. And it was such a weird game. When you think about it, the back and forth with this, Penn State scores the first 10, Notre Dame the next 17, Penn State the next 14, and then Notre Dame scores the final 10 points. There's a lot of different directions to go in. I think if you're a Penn State fan, you've been down this road before, certainly with your head coach, James Franklin, doesn't do well in games against top 10 opponents. In fact, he's 3-11 facing a top 10 team when his team was also ranked in the top 10. That's the worst record by any active coach with at least 10 such games. But give credit to Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. At one point, I texted the Danettes, and I said, I don't know if they're going to win, but Penn State's a better team than Notre Dame. They had more explosive players. Abdul Carter is awesome. I watched him against USC. I watched him twice, like a true game. Now, you can watch highlights, and you can make somebody really good or really bad in a highlight, but he is a disruptor, and he wasn't 100%. And we kept thinking, okay, they got a running attack. That offensive line was great. And I was just waiting for Drew Aller to be who I guess we thought he was, that he was not going to make mistakes, spread it around. The wide receivers for Penn State didn't have a reception. That's really, really hard to do. But Notre Dame hung in there. You know, when Riley Leonard got knocked down, I thought he had a concussion. And then you have the backup quarterback who comes in and leads them down to a field goal, going 6 for 7 in that drive. And I thought, that's more than 3 points, because I didn't know if Riley Leonard was going to be able to come back in and play. The backup quarterback who's been there for, 2 or 3 years, waiting his turn while they bring in all these transfers, and they get a field goal. And it just felt like it was 10-3, but it felt like it was 10-10. Penn State looked like they should have been up by 13, 14 points. I thought they were that good. But they just didn't make a big play when they needed to. And then you had the interception late in the game that led to the game-winning field goal. Here's Marcus Freeman on his team last night.
In the second half, he made some Jeremiah Love plays, and you know what? It speaks volumes to the heart he has. He gave everything he had to this place. He did not have to play today, and you know, nobody would have batted an eye. But he put team in front of himself and how he felt, and we got a whole bunch of guys like that in that locker room, and that's why we're in this position.
Here is the call, Notre Dame Radio Network, with the game-winning field goal by Mitch Jeter.
Good snap, good hold, kick on its way, and the kick is good! Yes! Mitch Jeter, with 7 seconds left, gives the Irish a lead, 27-24. Notre Dame is on the precipice.
Yes, and they've also done maybe the impossible. They're kind of likable. Whether, I grew up a Notre Dame fan, but if you're not a Notre Dame fan, like, I don't think you go, well, I hate Marcus Freeman. Like, Marcus Freeman's a guy I'd want to play for. And you can get that. Remember when he got the head coaching job, when Brian Kelly left, and all of a sudden he walks into the locker room, and his players erupted. Like, it was such a cool moment. Now, granted, some of those players aren't there anymore, but that feeling is still there. And then they made the right plays when they needed to. And, right before Drew Aller throws that interception, Greg McElroy said, hey, he takes care of the football, until he didn't. Here is the quarterback for Penn State on that turnover.
Yeah, I was going through my progression, got to the backside, and honestly, I was just trying to dirt it at his feet, but I should have just thrown it away when I felt the first 2 progressions not open, just because of the situation we were in. But I was just trying to dirt it at Amari's feet, but just didn't execute what I was trying to do.
And he was hit when he threw it, and it's one of those plays that you still have 2 timeouts left, little less than a minute to go, and the fact you have 2 timeouts and you have a little bit of time on the clock, that's why you're not going to play for overtime. You're not going to, you're trying to do something, And I think that they got a little too aggressive there instead of throwing the ball away, obviously. But for Notre Dame, now they wait for the winner of tonight's game with Ohio State and Texas. By the way, Ohio State is the favorite to win the national title. Then it's Notre Dame and Texas. Ohio State is a 6-point favorite coming up tonight. Poll question today, Seton. By the way, good morning if you're watching on Peacock, our streaming partner. Download the app if you haven't done so, if you'd like to watch the show. And we say good morning to iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, in our 400 cities around America. All righty, Seton.
It's Friday, Dan. You know what that means.
That means
Who has
Friday
it better
Fritzy?
than we do? Nobody. The T.O. Dub has...
Oh, okay. By the way, the first hour brought to you by TireRack.com, the official tire expert of the DP show. The Tire Decision Guide, full lineup of Toyo tires, special offers, free road hazard protection. Mobile tire installation is available. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. All right, Toddler. DP.
Let's see. Yeah, Todd's got a few of them here. I don't know if he can call them up right away, but he has one here that was interesting. Would you rather be today James Franklin or Brian Kelly?
Wow.
It had to be said.
Wow. Wow.
Voters, take your places.
Dang. Where did that come from?
I don't know. One's working on an accent. One's gonna, playing for a national title.
Well, no, he's not playing for a national title.
Well, a lot of people were pointing out last night that Brian Kelly left Notre Dame because he wanted to go to a place where he could win a national title.
That is true.
And thus far,
well,
he's struggled to
okay.
be anywhere close to that.
I would rather be Brian Kelly today. I would rather be Brian Kelly because, once again, this stays with James Franklin. He can't win. He doesn't win. Now, is it all on him? No, but, it still comes back to you. It's on your one-loss record. It's not on Drew Aller's one-loss record as much as it is James Franklin. And it's not a coincidence. He just doesn't win. When his team is ranked in the top 10, he doesn't beat top 10 opponents. Yes, Heaton.
So when you have like this stats like, wide receivers had like 0 touches, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You put that more on the head coach for not finding a way to get his receivers the ball than you do the quarterback who has to get it there.
Well, I would say both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
obviously shared responsibility, but
I'd put it on the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And James Franklin. Like, you want to put your players in a position to succeed. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you have coaches. They need to be coached to be put in positions to succeed. It's really hard to not have a reception. If you're Penn State, wide receivers, and nobody has a reception. And I still, watching that first half, I kept thinking, boy, they better score points. And you got a great tight end. It just felt like all else fails, go to Warren. They had a running game. You had 2 running backs, offensive line. You had a defensive player who might have been the best player on the field. Like it was all there. It matched up for you. I mean, Riley Leonard played well in the second half, threw for 160 yards. But you're still watching. And I just thought Penn State should be dominating, like physically dominating this game. And then it's almost like Notre Dame got that confidence boost. Then Riley Leonard comes back, and they kind of – it's almost like when you face Mike Tyson, not that Penn State is Mike Tyson, but you have to survive the first 2 rounds. And then once you do, then you gain confidence. And it's like Notre Dame was getting hit, and then they're like, all right, we're hanging in here. And then all of a sudden, they didn't get knocked down. They didn't get knocked out. And I think that's a testament to them, and they made some big plays when they needed to. Would anybody want to be James Franklin over Brian Kelly today? Yes, Paul?
Today, it's painful, but you're close. You're not off the map right now. LSU, with all that talent, not being in the playoff picture is more embarrassing.
Okay.
By the way, people in college football like the James Franklin nickname, Small Game James.
Wow.
Dang.
Okay. Instead of Big Game James. Okay.
Dang.
Yes, Todd?
I would agree with Paulie that you got it to the Final Four. I know you didn't get over the hump just yet, but you're extremely relevant and something to build on, and they were one of the last 4 teams. So I'd rather be James Franklin.
Okay. Seton?
Right. I think you want to be playing. At the bare minimum, even if you are, say, small game James, you at least got to the big game to not be able to, you lost it, but it.
Yeah. I guess I don't want that reputation of I can't win a big game. And it's there. And we thought that going into, I just thought, you know what? Somehow, some way, Notre Dame wins this game. Even though I thought Penn State was far and away the better team, certainly in that first half. Yes, Marvin?
Then what's Brian Kelly's reputation?
Maybe the guy who left Notre Dame to try to win titles, and then Notre Dame won a national title?
Forgive me, Brian. Wait. No, that's not nice because he hadn't even won all of his games yet.
No, yes.
It's still early.
But Marcus Freeman did the impossible. He made Notre Dame likable. At least, maybe I'm overstating this, but I just get the feeling that people watch Notre Dame and they're like, okay, all right. They're kind of spunky here. Yes, Eden.
Brian Kelly got to a national championship game, and Notre Dame still hasn't gotten the stink off of them yet from that game. They got destroyed.
Yes, they did.
They got absolutely destroyed by Alabama.
Yeah.
That was his one moment of, let's see what happens when you get to the big game.
He at least got to the big game.
Notre Dame still isn't taken seriously as a football program because of that one game. And I'm a Notre Dame fan, and that one game was so bad.
That's when you realized that there was a difference between the SEC and everybody else. Or you were reminded that there's a big difference because you watched, when you watch Notre Dame, it's like, and I always thought maybe their cleats are heavier than everybody. Like they always seemed slower when they were facing Alabama. Because Alabama came in, it's like, you guys are supposed to be good? And they blew them out. It's a different Notre Dame team. It's not a finesse team. They had to kind of SEC that lineup a little bit. Yes, Marvin?
Wait, hold on. Notre Dame got mollywopped by Clemson also. In the Final Four, is that maybe the Cotton Bowl?
Okay.
It's probably 33-3.
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
2018?
That's an eternity.
It's definitely way more recent than the example I gave.
Correct.
That was 2013. So
correct.
I think I'd still rather be Brian Kelly than I would James Franklin today. But that's a great poll question.